Hi everyone, welcome back to Economic Street. It's Ola.
And your boy Nicholas.
And he's not in his jersey today. What happened?
Too tired.
We'll come back to that. And Latifat as well, of Pretty Budget.
Hey.
What's going on?
Nothing much.
Yeah?
Nothing much, yeah.
No one's been doing nothing with their lives.
No, just sleeping and waking up.
I'm just tired.
Tell me, man. It's killing you.
It really is.
Get a babysitter.
Come do it.
Me and kids are blessed. But it's good. Yeah, we've got a lineup today for you guys. So we're going to be focusing a little bit more on the entrepreneurial,
Entrepreneurial, maybe?
Yeah, that's the word.
Entrepreneurship?
Yeah, entrepreneurial side.
Entrepreneurial side?
Hold it down, yeah. Entrepreneurial side. English is not my first language, people.
That's always the excuse. It's alright.
Cool. We're going to focus on the entrepreneurial side of finances today because, yeah, it's something that you guys have requested. And it's important to know how to go about, starting a business or an enterprise. And so, yeah, we're going to discuss that today. So, sit back, relax, grab a coffee, and join us. First thing we're going to talk about is 5 things people should know when they want to start a business. Yeah? So we're going to take in turns and just give people one thing each. By the way, before we start, have you started a business?
I have.
Okay.
Which one do you want to know about?
Bare streams.
I've streams, maybe broken water taps.
Wow.
Started and failed. Yeah.
Few times.
Quite a few times. But it's all in the process.
We get back up again.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
So, yeah, the first one I started was actually trying to be a makeup artist, like a lot of young females like myself wanted to do. And yeah, I just didn't do anything properly. And then the love of it just got sucked out of me. And I just stopped that one. And then the one I'm working on now, which I've had to put to bed until the new year, is actually my cosmetic company. So I actually started trading. I didn't set up a business. I didn't do any of that, but yeah.
Okay, which is one of the methods that people can use.
Yeah,
okay.
They can.
We'll
if they do it properly.
That. Okay. And you're an accountant as well, so that helps.
Yeah.
Sweet. And we have a bit of business experience.
Nope.
How can you say that? Ain't economics your business?
People have to trust you guys. Like,
don't mind this guy.
Nah, this is my first business, say Economic Street.
Okay.
Along with yourself is my first business venture.
Cool. This is my proper first one. I've done a few other things like side businesses, sole trading, like what we call ba. No, it's not 419. No. I see how your face changed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You are Nigerian, innit? So,
wow.
that's just one of the many routes, one of the many side hustles.
All I can say is
buying and selling.
Business, yeah, import, export. Cool, enough of the jokes. So yeah, we've got business experience and we're just gonna give you a few things to help you on your journey into the world of entrepreneurship. And hopefully, you can take something away from this. So the first one we're going to talk about today is that you should have goals and objectives from the outset. So this literally means, what is your goal in business? Is it to make money? Is it to fill some sort of need in the community? Is it to create job opportunities? But it's important that you know why you're getting into business in the first place, because that kind of just sets the tone for everything. And your goals should be SMART. So SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable. So that means, your goal should be measurable. Is it to make 10% profit year on year, or to gain 5% of the total market? So for example, your cosmetic business, is it to own 5% of the total market for cosmetics, which is it's a huge industry. So if you do that, please bring me on board. A is for attainable, so they should be realistic given the resources that you have. So even with us, Economic Street, when we started off, we didn't require that much capital.
No, we didn't. But it not even attainable. I would say attainable is even in the sense of some people start a company and say by year 2, I'm going to be exporting all over the world.
Yeah.
Like, if that has happened, luckily, good for you, and that's great, but it has to be something that's realistic, and attainable goal, as we were saying. So it ties in with measurable, so those two kind of go hand in hand with each other, because you want to be able to have sustained business success, but at the same time having a realistic goal in terms of when you can get to that stage of your business.
That's true. So yeah, make sure they're realistic. Don't just shoot for the stars.
Well, you should shoot for the stars, but don't expect to say in 6 months.
Yeah, I'm gonna be worth.
Yeah, it has to be an attainable
goal. Okay, cool. The R in SMART is for relevant, so make sure it's appropriate to the mission statement. So, I mean, coming back to your cosmetic business, I guess the mission would have been to make you feel more beautiful. Or
it actually was aimed at allowing black women to find the right products for their natural hair. So,
nice.
Yeah, I hear that is a problem. I know I'm not a woman, but I think that is a problem for black women.
Yeah, because of
makeup and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Don't know why I know that, but I know that.
Yeah, you know too much.
Don't you have a black wife?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
that's why you know.
Yeah, my wife. Yeah, my wife. Okay, I'm gonna go with that one.
Wife. Cool. And the final letter T is timed, which comes back to what we're saying about measurable and attainable. You know, make sure it's within a realistic time frame.
Correct.
So give yourself enough time to achieve your goals. I mean, for us, we had like a 5-year plan when we sat down, so it wasn't like everything had to be done.
No, that's true. We're still in the middle of that plan right now.
Yeah.
And I think, as in that whole acronym, all that you've seen from those acronyms, they all tie in to each other. They all feed in with each other.
Yeah.
To make your goal what you want in business.
Cool. So that's number 1. Number 2.
What type of business?
What type of business?
Yeah.
Cool.
So there's different avenues
for it.
So
know what type of business you want to set up. So is it for profit or is it non-for-profit? You know, is it going to be a social enterprise? A social enterprise is something that you set up with a specific goal of, you know, helping your community, fulfilling like a social need. So it's not necessarily to make profit. It has kind of like
a social impact. That's kind of the name suggests, and what you're giving back to your community, or what you want to ascertain in terms of you want to help a particular group of people, for example. So if you want to help, say, young kids or homeless, or for example.
Yeah. So cool. So yeah, know the difference: business versus social enterprise, or it could be a mixture. So for example, Economic Street, we have a bit of a mixture. So apart from all the content that you guys see, we provide financial education workshops in schools.
Correct.
And part of this is a social element. So we go out there looking for funding so that we can deliver our programs in schools to benefit kids growing up, so that they have a good platform, a foundation.
That's
of life skills.
Of life skills and knowledge base, and having the basic financial skills that we feel is missing out there.
Yeah. Cool. Number 3. Who's taking number 3?
Owning or being your business. So I think that's a very important topic to actually discuss, because I think in this generation that we are now with the internet and social media, a lot of people start off business by actually being the business. And when you are a small company, you do start off being the business. And being the business is basically you are your own brand, so to speak, and you're delivering on a service. So that might be for example, if you're an accountant, you might have to market yourself and put your brand out there as an accountant. And then you might move on to owning a business. So if you're an accountant, again, you might employ other accountants to actually work for you, and that way you're able to scale up your business. And you might actually not really take your skills out. I mean, you will still be, you know, doing things within the business, but then you come to managing the business and actually managing the resources and managing the people. So being your business and owning a business is two different things, so to speak, but they can merge into one, especially in the generation and the internet, because these days you have to be your brand. And again, that actually being and owning your business will change the structure of your business. So are you a sole trader or are you a limited company? So that can actually have implications on what you are legally required to do.
Okay, cool. So the main takeaway is to know the difference between being the business and owning a business. And it's very different, and you can go on a journey that takes you from A to B. I.e., you can start off as being the business and then going on to owning the business.
Yes. So that actually brings us on to kind of point number 4. So building on what Latifat was saying, then you need to know the type of structure you have for your business.
Okay.
So as you said, if you are being the business, or you can be set up as a sole trader. So what that is itself is that because you are the business, so say if you're a massage therapist, for example, you can then run everything through yourself. So the positive for that is that it's just you can continue doing what you need to do to run your business. However, there's something called reliability. So in that case, if you are a sole trader, anything that could potentially go wrong with the business, you are liable for.
Eesh.
So yeah, so there's no protection. So if there's, say, debt collectors who get into debt, they say
or client sues you.
Or client sues you and say you've got assets such as your home or mortgage, that is then liable. So
they can take that.
They can take that from you. So there's less legal ramifications of a sole trader, but then in the negative to that is that fact that you're liable for things. So that's similar to also a partnership. So a partnership or a sole trader, it's just you. Say me and you go into a partnership.
Yeah.
It's similar to a sole trader in terms of the setup, but the difference is there's 2 of you. But then in terms of liability, that liability will be split between the 2 of you. And then the third structure is a limited company. So you can set up your company as a limited company.
So this is like a separate entity.
Correct. So this is where the company, in terms of liability now, the liability is with the company itself. So if you set up a limited company, hopefully you don't want to have any issues, but if down the line you had any issues, that will be against the company itself. So all your personal assets, let's say your home, anything like that, that's protective. If you was to have a case where someone tried to sue you, it would be against the company itself,
not the individual.
Not the individual or the partner. So there's different types of business structures that you can have.
Nice. And I know with Economic Street, for example, we're a limited company.
That's what I was
so it's good.
So that's another thing that we've actually set up as a limited company and kept our own personal assets aside.
Just in case, because we've all got responsibilities.
Yeah, we do indeed.
Which kind of brings us nicely then to number 5 in terms of 5 things you should know when you start a business, which is if you do want to go down the limited company route, how to register a company. So there's an organization called Companies House. They're the ones that essentially look after all the companies registered within the UK. So those are the people that you will need to register a company with. And the process is actually quite straightforward. You do this all online. The first thing is, once you know that this is the route you want to go down, have a name and then check that the name is available.
That's true.
Because it may not be available. So literally Google Companies House, go and find, register a company, check the name, set up an account. It costs £12 to register a company online, so it's quite cheap if you know what you're doing. Sometimes it can get a bit complicated because of the forms. So you can buy what's called off-the-shelf companies. But luckily I had a sister and an aunt who are company secretaries. So I was like, I kept going to them. Boom, is this right? It's actually quite a straightforward form. That's the funny thing.
So can you explain what an off-the-shelf company is to people who might not know?
Okay, it's a company that's already been registered by people, and then you just buy it off them, and then change the name, in terms of the owner of that business. But essentially, it's just what they're doing is making the process simple for you, in terms of you don't have to deal with that admin side of
filling out the forms.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So it will cost you a bit more, but it makes it a bit easier. And as soon as it's set up, you can even change the name. So you can buy it off the shelf company, change the name of it, register, and then put yourself as the shareholder.
Okay.
Boom, you're good to go. So it's quite straightforward. Otherwise, you can DIY it yourself. Make sure you also need like a company address.
True, you do indeed.
Yeah. So again, you can actually pay for services. So we did this because if you don't. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you need a registered office address. It can literally just be like a mailing box service where your mails go, because if you use your personal home address, you will get nuisance mails. Like, their man will start hollering at you.
Because the reason for that is because with Company's House, your personal address will be up there, so
it's public.
It's public. So if I was to Google your company name, it would have you, your details, and your personal address. So our advice would be to say, use a registered companies that you can use their address for those things rather than having your own personal address.
It's true, and they're quite cheap as well.
Yeah,
they're very cheap. I mean, ours is like what, 40 quid, and that's probably even one of the more expensive ones.
Is that a flat fee?
Flat fee,
but it's yearly. So
okay.
Annually. Next thing you have to do is, create shares in a company. This can be as simple as you want or as complicated. Usually best when you're just starting off, just start simple. Just say you create, for example, 100 shares, each worth £1. Boom, job done. You're the only shareholder as well, unless you have like a partner. Then it can get a bit more technical, complex, but literally it's a straightforward process. So have a name, get a registered company address, and set up your shares. And if you want to trade as a limited company, you can do that. The next thing you have to be aware of is you have to file accounts annually.
So you still have to file accounts if you're a sole trader as well. But this is where the legal ramifications are. So you get penalised heavily if you miss accounts, or you still get penalised as a sole trader, but it's even more so if you're a limited company and you miss the filings of your company accounts. And also these accounts also go up online as well,
so people can see
people can access and see what you've done as a company and how you've been going along.
Because at the end of the day, you are now a public company in a sense. Like, you're doing something in the public domain, public eye in a sense. So that's why it's almost like checks and balances, like for people to be able to see you.
And to verify what you're doing as well.
Yeah, I think one advice that I would give to anybody who, from the day you decide to set up a limited company, please understand that you are deciding to keep file of everything that you spend in your business, because when it comes to filing taxes for the business and for yourself, it will then become very, very complicated. You don't want to miss tax returns because you will be penalized heavily, and you don't want to get anything confused with your self-assessment, because once you are a registered company, you are going to have to be filing your accounts yearly, and you're going to have to be doing a self-assessment.
So self-assessment is basically someone's tax return.
Yeah, basically. So from the day that you decide that you're going to be a limited company, you're then deciding to file 2 different tax returns. So it's important that you're keeping all of that separated. Basic bookkeeping is essential, and admin is essential. And if you don't have the skills to do it yourself, then hire an accountant. And don't be put off by the fee that they can charge you, because at the end of the day, this is going to be an expense. And then that can actually, trickle down to the profit you're making, which means less tax that you could be paying. So, don't take all the admin that you need to do lightly. It's a legal requirement, so take it seriously.
Cool. Nice.
I just have to put that. I have to put that out there, because as an entrepreneur, meeting other entrepreneurs, they register as a limited company, but don't don't think about the self-assessment, and don't think about filing their accounts, and then in the long run that can have serious implications for you. So
I think one of my boys was telling me recently he got approached by a guy who wanted him to start doing his accounts, and I think the guy has not filed anything for like 5 years. Not done his personal taxes either, so he's not done.
Wow.
So
wow.
It's gonna be a headache. So essentially, that you will have to do admin. You have to pay company tax and also personal tax, and you have to keep the paperwork separate.
And then also, just to feed off of that, check out our video that we actually done on tax returns, self-assessments. So if you go onto our YouTube channel, we actually done a separate video with Ben, who is an accountant as well, and you can get hints and tips from that from that video.
Nice. So there you have it. 5 things to know when you want to start a business. The first one is to have goals, and they should be SMART goals. The second is to know what type of business you're going into. The third is to know the difference between being a business and owning a business. The fourth is to know the structure you want in terms of either operating as a sole trader versus a partnership or a limited company. And finally, actually doing the process of registering a company if you were to go down the limited company route. So there you have it, guys. Keep sending in your questions. Let us know your thoughts. Anything you want us to cover as well, we're happy to do it. We're here for that. So yeah, till next time.